Janice was a beautiful and elegant primary school principal. She married a handsome man who treated her well, even though they had little in common. But after they had children, he changed. As a busy principal, Janice was often exhausted when she came home at night after working long hours. She still had to take care of her 2 young children alone. Her husband rarely helped out and was always impatient with the children. He thought the children were noisy. He complained that she didn't come home early enough to take care of the children. Their bedroom was small, so they all had to sleep in the same bed. It was uncomfortable, and the worst part was that he told the children to sleep a little further away from him, so they wouldn't take up his space. As a result, the 2 children and their mother squeezed together to sleep. Janice couldn't sleep well every night and was stressed out. The children were also afraid of their father and avoided him as much as possible. It turned out that Janice's husband had serious emotional problems. He was also very controlling, possessive, and insecure. He didn't allow Janice to have any male friends. He even monitored her phone calls and line messages. Janice was miserable in her marriage. She felt like she was trapped in a nightmare. She tried to talk to her husband about his behavior, but he refused to change. They didn't communicate well and had different interests. They had nothing to talk about except their children. Janice was considering divorce, but she was worried about how it would affect her children. She didn't want them to grow up in a broken home. One day, Janice had had enough. She packed up and left her husband. She took her children and moved in with her parents. It was a difficult decision, but it was the right one for her and her children. Her husband woke up to find them all gone. He realized that it was all his fault. He was so sorry and tried to contact Janice to beg her to come back. He told Janice that he loved her and couldn't live without her. He apologized for treating her and the children badly. He admitted that he had a problem controlling his anger, and he promised to change, even agreeing to see a doctor for his emotional problems. Janice, with her soft-hearted nature, decided to give him another chance. After seeing a doctor, her husband really became a good father and husband. With the doctor's guidance, he learned to control his emotions. Sometimes, when he felt he was about to lose control, he would remind himself, "They are my close family. I can't take it out on them." He also found solace in chanting the Heart Sutra, which helped him calm down and find peace. Her husband finally realized how hard his wife worked and was willing to share the household chores and be more patient with their children. Janice saw that her husband had truly changed, and she felt happy again. The children began to engage with their father and wanted to play with him. Janice's story is a cautionary tale. It shows the importance of getting to know someone well before you get married. You need to make sure that you are compatible with someone before you make a lifelong commitment. You also need to make sure that you have common interests and values. If you don't have these things in common, it will be very difficult to make a marriage work. Janice's story is also a story of hope. It shows that even when things seem hopeless, there is always the possibility of change. If Janice's husband had not been willing to change, her story would have been very different. But he was willing to change, and he was able to save his marriage. I hope Janice's story inspires others who are in unhappy marriages. It is never too late to change. If you are unhappy in your marriage, don't give up hope. A happy ending is always possible.